Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn the anatomy of the typical rib, some basic features in the part 1. So we will first of all see that what is meant by typical ribs. So the typical rib is from 3rd to 8th rib. Okay, the reason being it is called typical ribs are due to they share common features or common characteristics between them, so they are known as the typical ribs. And there are differences which we will see as we are proceeding to the anatomy. Now, its orientations of the typical rib is same as shown here. So what is its orientation? If I draw a perpendicular line here, this is posterior end, this is its anterior end. Posterior end will have articulation with the vertebrae of the back, and anterior end will have articulation with the costochondral cartilage and to the sternum. Now this is the midline as shown in the orange. Lateral as compared to the posterior end. What may be the possible reason? The possible reason is simple, because anterior end is attached to the costochondral cartilage here, and then this via costochondral cartilage it is attached to the sternum. And one more point, important point, is that these typical ribs are twisted, angulated and oblique. Okay, so this is its orientation. They are oblique and are directed downwards and medially. So these are some important features, and also for the side determination. We will see side determination when we see its part. So let's move to its parts. Now, so this is anterior end as shown in the orange. The green color whole is body of the vertebrae, or it is known as shaft. Then this is, let's come to the posterior end, and it is also important because it has two articular surfaces. So this is the head. Okay, posterior, remember. Now as we can see that anterior end was flattened bony slip, whereas the posterior end has head, neck and tubercle, which we will see further. Now this is these are the articular surfaces of the head. Further, this is neck. Neck is basically the constricted area which is present between the head and the tubercle. Okay, and it has an upper border. It has an upper border which is an rough elevated area, and the superior border of the neck is nothing but the crest. Now, this is the tubercle. The area which you can see in light green and blue is the tubercle, and this is the articular facet of the tubercle, which will articulate with the transverse process of the thoracic vertebrae. I will show the joint how it articulates of head also and tubercle also. So these are the basic parts of the ribs. So let me show you the articulation. Now here we can appreciate the articulation of the rib. Now first of all, as I have told you that the tubercle articulates with the transverse process of the vertebrae. So this is the transverse process of the vertebrae, and this is its tubercle. So you can remember simply that tubercle of a rib articulates with the transverse process, as simple as that. T. Now if we will see of the articulation surfaces of the head, Then remember that articulation surfaces, there were two articulation surfaces like this. Okay, there were two articulation surfaces, and the two articulation surfaces were separated by a ridge, by upper lower area and lower larger articular area. So the upper smaller articular surface is articulated with the upper rib, upper thoracic vertebrae, and the lower larger articulation surface of the head is articulated with the numerical means next thoracic vertebrae.